Hello again, Steve here, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about something I saw recently called the Greater Idaho Project. And these sorts of things are always interesting to me because they're obviously run by people who want more freedom, I would say. You know, the gist of it is that anyway. Kind of like the Free State Project in New Hampshire, right? Those are people who want greater levels of freedom, and they're trying to do what they can to find that. Where I'm at working right now, there's something called there's a movement. I see stickers on bumpers and stuff. It's called the Republic of Western Canada, I think it is called. It includes Saskatchewan, Alberta, and northern British Columbia, not southern British Columbia, because that's basically a lost cause down there with the socialists that run the place. So, yeah, these things are great to see and so on, but it takes a lot of work, obviously a lot more work than sloganeering to do them. And of course, though, there's the challenge of trying to break away from an existing jurisdiction, which would probably involve some sort of violence, some sort of war, basically. Although, in Canada's case, there is, I believe, a concession within the Constitution to allow separation of provinces, at least maybe for Quebec, because Quebec did have a referendum and nobody made the case that, hey, if they vote to leave, we're going to try to stop them. Though I suspect that there was a lot of vote rigging that went on in there to prevent that from happening. And nevertheless, it was a concept that was kind of accepted, kind of like Brexit was accepted in principle. But then, of course, once it happened, once the vote took place, the powers that be did everything they could to stymie it, right? And finally, the people worked hard enough. People worked hard enough, and they actually made it happen. So, Greater Idaho, yeah, definitely possible, but it's a lot of work, I would think. Not that I know much, just observing history and so on. It usually takes a lot of dedication. It takes many years, and sometimes takes force of arms to do something like that, or at least defense of some sort. And the other problem, of course, is the old saying, here you have freedom, can you keep it, you know? I've said it before on this channel that, you know, if somebody was to go onto the peninsula of Antarctica and create a freedom, a free state, in other words, and it became very prosperous, there'd be people clamoring to get in, and those people would not have the same virtues and values of those who started it. This is the challenge, isn't it? I mean, here you see California, a basket case, because people voted for socialism for so long. So where are they going now? A lot of these people, they're going to places like Texas, which used to be more of a bastion of freedom. So it's like people leave socialism and then vote for socialism. Leave socialism for capitalism and then vote for socialism, right? I mean, I've talked about that on this channel before too. I was in Toastmasters clubs for years, and Toastmasters clubs rise and fall based on who's involved with them, the dedication that's involved, right? So in a city where there's 20 clubs, you'll see a couple of clubs doing really well and several floundering. And some of those floundering ones will eventually go the way of the dinosaur. And what'll happen is you'll start to see the remainders of those floundering clubs showing up in the prosperous clubs. That's where they go. It's like the people leaving California going to Texas, right? And what happens is when you get enough of a seeding of those people, those prosperous clubs eventually flounder and fail too. So that's something to be aware of too, and that has to do with boundaries and who it is that gets involved. You know, that's why democracy is such a disaster, because you let everybody, even those who don't have a clue, people who are, you know, like I mentioned before, my brother who is mentally retarded and he was encouraged to vote. Had no clue, he couldn't count to 4, but he was encouraged to vote. And so when you extend the franchise to too many people who are completely clueless, and people who have a vested interest, people who are on the government lolly, they're going to vote for more lolly, of course, and it eventually destroys itself. So yeah, Greater Idaho, I support those who want more freedom, and just making the comment that, yeah, it's probably a lot of work, and there's going to be a lot of resistance, but even when it's achieved, if it's achieved, and success and prosperity comes, you'll have those wanting to show up who are the ones who spoke hardest against it, the ones who laughed at it and so on. They'll eventually be showing up, because where they are will be basket cases. So yeah, it's a lifelong thing. You know, freedom is a struggle and a challenge, and worth struggling for, I would say. Steve here, doing great chatting. If you like what I'm doing, please like, subscribe, and share, and apparently ding the bell, because that way you get notification. There's no other way you're going to get notification, because Coffee Chat pretty much can't be found on YouTube, that is. You can find me on BitChute. Some of my videos show up over there under Inner Genie. Not Inner G, as some people say I pronounce it. Inner Genie. You can look it up and you'll find me there as well. Talk again soon. Bye for now.